Hello and welcome to Anna's Home Yoga Studio. This class is for our senior citizens, but especially geared towards someone with Parkinson's disease. You are going to need a set of textured balls. These are Franklin balls. You can see that they have a little bit of a puckery texture to them. They are soft and squishy. If you don't have these balls, you can, for some purposes, substitute with regular dryer balls. These are hard plastic. So these are only to be used on the feet to massage the feet, which is what we will be doing in the beginning. You're also going to need a medium tension band. Medium or light. Do not use heavy, hard to stretch tension band. Let's get started standing. You might also want to have a chair ready, by the way, and access to a little bit of free wall space. You can also use a door, a closed door, as the wall space if you don't have a free wall space like I have in my studio. All right, let's get started. First, I recommend to begin every practice with a little bit of sensory stimulation. I recommend using soft balls so they're not too painful on your feet. But if you have dryer balls, just be careful not to press too hard because they are made of hard plastic. You can do so standing, holding onto a wall or a support structure. You would put a ball on the ground or the floor. Bring your foot on top, spread your toes, and run your foot up and down, massaging the soles of the feet. I recommend that you wear no socks to receive maximum stimulation through the skin. As we age, our feet receive poor circulation to them. Medication sometimes can also reduce circulation, lack of movement, limited mobility, all of that impacts in a negative way circulation. And feet, unfortunately, suffer greatly. You can do a bit of exercises once you massage your foot, just generally running back and forth. You can practice picking up the ball with your toes. Spread the toes, grab onto the ball, pick it up. Again, this works better if the ball is soft. But the dryer ball is kind of small and also works just fine. Dryer ball also is harder, so if you want a little bit more intense sensations, if the softer Franklin balls don't quite provide you with the sensations you can feel, you can use the dryer balls to find some pressure spots in your feet. Once you're done with one foot, work on the other. Generally, foot massage every day is highly recommended for everyone. I do this for myself. And this feels amazing. You're also encouraged to apply moisturizer or oil for skin to your feet to keep the skin moist. Often dry skin also loses sensitivity. Practice picking up here as well. And for extra deep massage, you can use a harder ball like this. Find some spots that feel oh ho ho ho. So once your feet are a little bit more awake and tingling, we'll begin our class standing. First, we'll simply raise the arms up and down to increase a little bit of general blood flow to the body. Inhaling, bringing the arms up, and exhaling, bringing them down. What often happens as we age is we have stooped posture, shoulders come forward, the pelvis drifts forward. This impacts our balance in a negative way. Hospitalizations from falls is #1 reason of morbidity, actually, for people over 65, if my knowledge does not deceive me. You can check on that. But it is really important to keep up your posture as best as it can be. And look forward and ahead when you're walking. And increasing sensitivity of the feet so you can feel what's underfoot. So you don't have to always look down when you're walking. You have some sense of spatial awareness around your feet because your feet are really awake and engaged. After doing this a few times, turn to face the wall. You can imagine there's a door frame. And we will be doing heel raises along with the arm lifts. Stand about a foot away from the wall. Try not to stand too far. Stand close enough that you can be pretty much upright. And then as you inhale, come up on the balls of the feet and reach up and look up at the seam of the wall and the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring the heels down and slide the hands down. So that's your exercise. You slide the hands up, you reach for the ceiling, and then you exhale and slide the hands down, heels to the floor. Look up as well. Often we look down too much. So as you do this, use the safety of the wall. You're not going to fall when you're doing this, to look up and really reach up as much as your arms go. Inhale to come up. And exhale to go down. Good. A few of those, then grab your band. And stand with your back against the wall. Have your feet a little bit apart. Straighten up. Try and bring your pelvis onto the wall, your upper back onto the wall, and if possible, your head as well. Often when our posture is poor, our head is forward like this. So when we come up against the wall, we're still hunched. So really lengthen up. Try and straighten up your spine. Hold the band without any stretch. Hold it lax in front of you with your arms straight. Avoid holding like this with your arms close together. Reach out so your arms are straight and hold loosely. Don't need to grip too hard. Hold with your wrist straight. Try not to hold with your wrists bent. I also recommend just maybe holding between thumb and palm and spreading out the fingers so you feel like big wings happening here. Inhale and elongate. Exhale and stretch the band across your chest. And try to bring your hands all the way to touch the wall. Inhale, bring the arms in front. Exhale, all the way to touch the wall. The wall is here as a marker for you, how far to reach out at a minimum. And try and lift the chest. Inhale to elongate. Exhale and reach. Squeeze the shoulder blades to bring the arms out wide and lift the chest. Very good. After a few of these, do a few easy shoulder shrugs. Your shoulders may be tired a little bit, and that's normal. And then we're going to face the wall again. I'm going to move the camera so that you could have a better view of the following exercise. You will be facing the wall again. This time, stand far enough away from the wall that your arms can be straight out in front of you, and place your whole hand on the wall. It is not enough to just lightly put your fingertips on it. Put a little bit of pressure, almost like you're doing full body plank up against the wall, with your hand really spread out on the surface of the wall, every knuckle making as much contact with the wall as possible. One of the things that happens as we age and as Parkinson's is happening to us, we kind of contract in. Our world becomes really small. It's almost as if instead of seeing the whole room full of light and seeing far enough into each and every corner, you find yourself in a dark room holding a candle. You don't know what's out there anymore. You kind of forget the periphery of your body. So here we are, making really solid contact with the wall, standing up straight. We inhale and elongate. Exhale, take one hand and look over your shoulder as that whole arm is traveling back behind you. Inhale and bring that hand to the wall. Exhale, take the other and look onto it and over the shoulder in the direction you're reaching to your side and behind you. As you're reaching, try not to allow your pelvis to drift with the shoulders too much. This might put some unhealthy pressure on the knees. Keep your pelvis square to the wall as you do this, and try and disassociate your rib cage as you reach back. You may wish to have a partner spot you doing this exercise. Have your hips, their hands on your hips, standing behind you maybe, so that they could tell you if you are allowing your pelvis to move along with your shoulders. So as you exhale, you reach back and look back over your shoulder and try and keep your spine really tall and elongated. So this is a twist for your upper back. Very good. When you are done, just swing your arms out a little bit. Next, again, facing the wall or your door frame. Put your right foot forward up against the baseboard or the wall. You don't have to curl your toes up onto it, just enough to feel maybe the very edge of the wall, and have your other foot back. Use the wall for support to put that other foot back. Oftentimes our steps become short, so take this opportunity to feel safer against the wall, to have your longer step. Okay? Try and keep that back leg really straight and don't allow it to bend. Use the back heel to really press back into the floor behind you and feel that there is support back there. Oftentimes we hunch forward because we lose sensory information from the back, proprioception from the back body. You know, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist type of a thing, but it does exist. There is a world back there that you can use to feel grounded and safe. Have your hands on the wall, wider than shoulder level. Have your fingertips up on the wall, so the elbows are up, away, and feel your chest opening up towards the wall. As you inhale, bend your right knee, the leg that's up against the wall, and bring your chest forward. And then as you exhale, straighten the leg and back away. Inhale, bend your knee and bring your chest forward towards the wall. Exhale, straighten the knee and back away. Avoid staying back. As you bend the knee, avoid just bringing your pelvis forward by keeping your shoulders back. Instead, as you bend the knee, focus on bringing the chest forward towards the wall. Let the wall push your hands back a little bit and your elbows back so you feel a little opening across the chest. You could have your hands on the door frame as well and try and bring your chest right through the door while your hands are staying wide apart, holding onto the door frame. So this exercise is really good to do in a door frame as well. A few of these. And then just stay in this position for a couple of breaths as you attend to a little detail. Check to make sure your back leg is straight. Really press back and feel that it is straight and that your heel is on the ground and that you're using it to press. Check to make sure that your pelvis is back and your chest is forward. You can see that my chest is in front of my pelvis. My chest is not the same level as my pelvis, nor is my chest back behind my pelvis. I want to bring the chest forward in front of the pelvis. Yes? So check that you're here. And then we'll switch legs. Use the wall to step. Have your left foot forward, your right leg back. Straighten the back leg, press through the heel. Hands wide on the wall, just about chest level with the elbows up. Inhale, bend the knee and bring your chest forward towards the wall while at the same time pressing back through your straight leg. Exhale and back away. Inhale, come forward, squeeze the shoulder blades to allow the chest to come towards the wall or into the door frame. And keep your pelvis back behind your chest. So as you do this a few times, warming up your legs a little bit more, come forward and stay in the shape for a couple of breaths. Check that your back leg is straight, using the heel to really anchor down. Check to make sure your chest is in front of your pelvis, that your elbows are up, and your chest feels open, and you're reaching your sternum forward towards the wall. And then back away. Use the wall to step your legs back together. And then have your back against the wall again. Step your legs apart as wide as is possible for you. Use the wall for support. Lean onto it if you need to. Use your hands on the wall for a little reference that you feel safe and balanced. And then with your backs of hands on the wall, inhale and go to the side, reaching one arm up and the other arm down. And then exhale, come back to center. See if you can hear your arms sliding on the wall. Try and make them slide and maintain some contact. Do not come forward away from the wall like this to do this exercise. Try and stay with your back up against the wall the whole time. Reach the back of the head to stay up on the wall the whole time. And try and keep your legs straight. Notice if you have a tendency to bend the knees and kind of collapse. Really reach through straight, very active legs. Let's do one more to each side or so. Very good. A little rest. Stay with your legs apart. And then we're going to turn to face to our right side. Use the wall to shift around. Have your right leg up in front and your left leg back, and the wall to your right side. Have your right hand on the leg. Lean forward a little bit, but try not to round your spine. Lean forward with the spine as straight as you can. So again, your chest is in front of your pelvis. And use your right elbow to feel the wall and really anchor down into it. Relax your left arm for a moment. And then on the inhale, reach forward and up. And look up as you do this. Try and get the arm to come up by your ear. Don't stop right here. Go as high up as it goes. And this is our inhalation. As you exhale, bend the elbow of your left arm and reach back. You can lean onto the wall a little bit as you're doing this. And see if you can make contact with the wall behind you. Or get as close as you can. Inhale, reach forward and up, 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 and look up. Exhale, and pull that elbow back and down and aim for the wall. Inhale, look up, exhale, and turn your head to look back as well. It's easier to turn the ribs when you're looking in the direction you're trying to turn the ribs. Meanwhile, keep your right leg stable. Try not to let that leg drift away from the wall. Keep your right hand on it, and as you twist, you can even have your right hand check the leg to make sure that as you reach back for the wall, the right leg does not drift away from the wall. You want to keep it steady and stable, the knee stacked over the ankle. Good. We'll do this on the other side. Take your time shifting around. Wide, long step. Left leg in front, right leg back. The left leg will be closer to the wall than the right leg. Try not to stand on a balance beam. Think more like ski lanes. So have that back leg away from the wall quite a bit more than the one that's in front. Have your left hand on your left knee for a little monitoring if it starts to drift away. Relax your right arm. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach forward and up and look up and elongate. Exhale, and as you reach that elbow back, try and aim for the wall. It's okay if it doesn't touch the wall, but you really are aiming to touch the wall. Use your left hand to keep an eye on the knee. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, look back. Inhale, look forward and up. Exhale, look back. Very good. When you finish, dangle the arm. For brief demonstration purposes, this exercise could also be done in the chair. For the days when the balance is not very cooperative, you can sit on the edge of the chair with one leg in front and the other kind of hanging down or out to your sides and do the same exercise. Notice where I have the back of the chair, so it's out of my way. And I'm looking up as I'm reaching up. And I'm aiming for the wall behind me with the elbow as I'm twisting. And I'm still having my hand here on my forward leg to make sure that I am disassociating and twisting at the rib cage level. Yeah? So this is an adaptation you can use on those days. Next, we'll do a little down dog at the wall. Stand facing the wall. I have a window here, but I only need the wall up to this height anyway. So place your hands on the wall just about your waistline or a little bit lower around the hip line. And then walk away from the wall until your arms are straight. And you have a 90-degree angle if you hinge forward at the hips. Again, use your whole hand on the wall to really press in. Keep your arms straight as you push away. Engage your legs and feet and push into the floor as well. Bend your knees a little and stick your tail up. And reach your whole body back, elongating while you push away. So this is a down dog shape here at the wall. Make sure your knees are bent. Try not to lock the knees and hunch in this position. Do what you can to really elongate and straighten the spine. Push into the wall, push into the floor. And do a few breaths. And then to exit, walk towards the wall as you come up until you feel safe to let go and stand. Next, transition onto the floor. You can have a mat, which is optional. Just make sure it's not too hard of a surface. If you're just using a rug or a carpet, that might be enough for you. Or spread out a blanket for a little extra padding. Come onto all fours first, and then find your child's pose, where your hips are as far back towards the heels as they comfortably reach for you, and your arms as far forward as is possible. It's okay to be up here if that's where you are. Perfectly fine. Wherever your body lets you go, just go there. Take a moment to find your shape. And a little bit of breathing into the lower back ribs. We often have tension there and stiffness. So we're going to address that next a little bit with some spinal movements. But first, let's find a little bit of breath movement in our back body. After a couple of breaths in this position, inhale into table pose with a back bend, meaning your tail is up, your chest is up, your belly has a little bit of action and some support. And then exhale back into child's pose. Inhale table with a back bend. Exhale child's pose a few times at your pace. Try and coordinate with your breath. If your breaths are a little too fast, what you can do is inhale in place and then slow exhale into position. Inhale in place and then slow exhale into the other position. So that begins to loosen up the low back. Next time on all fours, we'll stay here, and as we inhale, we'll arch. And as we exhale, we will round the spine. To arch, tilt the pelvis forward. So you want to lift your tail up like a happy dog tail. To round, tuck your tail between your legs like a scared dog and round the spine. So this movement really comes from the pelvis, tilting forward as we inhale and tilting back as we exhale. Let's see if we can find that movement in the pelvis and then follow through with the rest of the spine. Meanwhile, keep connecting to the floor with your hands. Spread those fingers. Really make meaningful contact. Feel the mat, the floor, whatever surface you're on. A couple more times like this. And then come back into table pose one more time. And rest in child's pose. Roll your wrists a little bit, massage your wrists so that the weight bearing on all fours doesn't stress them out too much. But it's good to have a little bit of weight bearing exercise on our bones to combat osteoporosis and make our bones stronger. So we'll be back on all fours next for a little bit more. Here on all fours, we're going to explore lateral. If you remember, we did this exercise on the wall standing with our legs apart, which you can also do kneeling as I'm doing now, anytime you like. Here on all fours, we will be doing a similar movement. So as you exhale, look over your right shoulder and squeeze your right side ribs down. See if you can see your right hip looking over. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder and see if you can see your left hip. Go side to side. Try not to allow the hip to run away from you. This is no, right? This is what we're looking for. So if I was to face the camera and you can see my back, I am squeezing one side of my body while elongating the other. And I'm squeezing one side of my body while elongating the other. So my spine is doing a lateral movement side to side. One side becomes shorter, the concave side, and the other side bows out, becomes longer, the convex side. Yes. Explore that and then rest again in child's pose. Check in with your back body breaths. Some wrist rolls. I want to do one more thing on all fours, if that's okay with your hands. Rest more if you need to. And this is to work on our glutes and hamstrings and low back a little bit more. Now that we've warmed this area up a little bit with child's pose and spinal movements, come back to table. Anchor through your hands into the floor. Anchor with your upper back muscles, your shoulder blades. And then we'll start on the right leg. As you inhale, reach it back and up. And try and get it high with the knee bent, really high. And then on the exhale, pull it in towards the belly. Get it close. Inhale, reach high. Try not to collapse in the elbows as you're reaching the leg up high. Right? Try and really use your glutes, your back, your hamstrings to extend that leg up while your arms are keeping your chest square to the floor. And this position, you can see how it creates neutral low back. And this position, you can see how it creates a little rounding in the low back. So you're doing mini little cats and cows on one side of your body for this movement to happen. Let's do the second side. Inhale, reach back and up with the knee bent. Exhale. Pull the knee in close to the belly. Good. And when you are finished, rest well. We are done with the work on all fours. If this bothers your wrists, you can do a lot of these exercises on the elbows. If you are allowed to have your head down below your heart. Sometimes with Parkinson's disease, actually, the blood pressure can be low because of medication. So this would be a good way to get the blood pressure up, to have your head down, to move the arms and the legs and get some blood flowing. Next, let's come on to the abdomen. lie down, propping yourself up on the elbows. So this is a back bend. Might be really uncomfortable in the beginning, so feel free, just slide your elbows further forward so you're not up quite so high. Take a moment here and breathe to get used to the shape. Your low back may feel really stiff. That's okay, give it a little time. Again, slide your hands out further forward if it's too uncomfortable. But if it's not causing you pain, if it's just uncomfortable, see if within a few breaths your body gets used to being here. Use the back body breath to create a little bit of comfort and movement in the low rib area in your back. Once you get used to this position, have your hands out wide. So wider than the mat if you're using the mat, and wider than the shoulders if not. You have your hands on the fingertips so you're not pushing up with the strength of your arms. We need to find the strength of our back muscles here. So our hands are here to help us minimum amount, if at all. We need to find our shoulder blades down, our chest lifted, and it's helpful to look down. As we inhale, we lift our chest, and as we exhale, we lower. You can turn cheek to side to come all the way to the floor. Inhale up, exhale down. Only come up as high as your low back feels okay. Do not force yourself up using the arms, okay? You should be able to come up most of the way up on your strength of your back, and then maybe a little bit for support just to keep it there for a second before going out. That's when the arms might help. So this is our little back bends. You can rest anytime. To rest, fold the hands under your face, bend the knees, and do some easy windshield wipers with the shins. This will keep blood flowing to the low back so it doesn't cramp up or is less likely to do that. Now, one thing you can do here sometimes, instead of doing the leg lifts on all fours like we did here, this one's nice to do, but if you want to skip it some days and do something else instead, you can do similar work here on the belly, where you would exhale, engage your belly muscles and bring one leg up, and then inhale, bring it down. Or you can do both. You can, if your back strength is improving over time from practice like this, you feel like it's not too much to do this on the abdomen as well, you can definitely throw in another set of these. Now the important thing here, as we lift the leg, we try not to use the other one to dig into the floor just to get this one up, right? We really want to engage our glutes, low back, and hamstrings. This other leg on the floor is not helping this one to come up. And we're trying to keep both hip points on the ground as we're lifting the leg. So try not to lift the whole hip up and lean over to the one hip, right? The point is not to get the leg up as high as possible. The point is to find the right muscles to do that for you. And just let them take the leg up as high as they can. The head can be resting down. Again, a little rest with some windshield wipers. And then we'll do both upper body and lower body together. We'll start with the arms reaching forward and the legs straight back, and this is our inhalation. As we exhale, we'll bend the knees and then pull the elbows in towards the sides. And then we inhale and reach long on the floor. Exhale, bend the knees and leave the hands on the floor and just sweep them in in a half circle. As you sweep the hands around and tuck the elbows in towards the waist, lift the chest. And you can do this with the knees on the floor and the hands on the floor until your back gets stronger. As your back gets stronger and you feel ready for a new challenge, you can hover the arms and the legs. You can lift the legs straight or bent. And you can just move more body weight with those newly strengthened muscles. Yeah. When you are done, lift yourself up nice and careful to table. And then back into child's pose. If your back feels tired, as I hope it does, the point was to exercise it. Inhale into table. Exhale into child a few times to settle it down. And then a little rest in child's pose. And then from here we'll transition onto our back. Lie on your back and grab your knees into chest. And relax a little bit. Have minimum padding under your head. If you need a little bit of an elevation, if you lie back and your head is like this because the shoulders are hunched, put a folded blanket or a little pillow under the head so that you're a little bit more comfortable and your face is a little bit more parallel towards the floor. But avoid excessive padding. Avoid having your head forward too much because that's where it already is. We're trying to put it back enough that's comfortable, but at the same time it's challenging this head forward thing that's happening to us. With the hands on our knees, inhale, legs away from the belly, and then exhale in towards the belly. And this will help to settle the back some more after the back bends that we just did. So let's do that for a little while. Inhale out, exhale in. You can do a little soft pulsing here at the end of the exhalation. Just resting for a full minute or more if you need to. The next exercise will be another little back bend, and it will be an easy bridge pose. So we'll have our feet on the floor, and you can have your legs apart. What often happens is our knees drift apart. So I recommend you hold a block or a ball or something between your knees to help you engage your inner thighs. So I'm going to have my ball here just to hold lightly. If your knees start drifting apart, it'll fall down. You know that you need to keep on engaging your inner thighs. And this is also a good spacer. It puts your knees and feet at the right distance for our purposes. Find your neutral pelvis. Find a little bit of an arch in the low back. Have your arms out wide. This helps to Keep our chest opening up as we are here on our back. So inhale, and then on the exhale, roll up into bridge, vertebra by vertebra. Lightly squeezing the ball between knees. Inhale in place. And then exhale, roll down vertebra by vertebra. You can see how I am exhaling and scooping and rolling up. So that's one version. A good version to practice if you can. If this is not really happening for you today, you can simply inhale the pelvis up and exhale and bring it down. This is a simpler version, and you are welcome to do that instead if you'd rather. So let's do that a few times. When you bring the pelvis up, really use your feet to anchor down. Sometimes what happens is the heels dig in and the balls of the feet come off, and the feet kind of do some funny curling in. So use the foot awareness we cultivated in the beginning with the foot massage to really spread the toes and make even full contact of the soles of the feet and the toes on the floor as you lift up and bring it down. Maybe one or two more. Take the ball out, grab the knees in, and do a little bit more Apanasana to help the back process this, to keep it settling down. Right. Next we'll do an easy twist. Let's have our feet on the floor, knees together, arms wide. Neutral pelvis, meaning we have our little space between the lower back and the floor. And then as we exhale, we release the knees to one side while turning the head in the other direction. And then we inhale back to center. You continue at your pace, twisting, like wringing out a towel or your body, twisting right at the midsection. So pelvis goes in one direction while the chest stays open towards the ceiling. The knees do not have to come to the floor, but do take them over as far as your low back accepts. What again often happens is that we stick to small movements. I see this often. A person would go just a little bit to the side. It feels like a lot to them, but they could easily go a little bit further without anything negative happening to them. They could just do a little bit more. So don't assume you've done all you can. Remember that Parkinson's especially is like having a light, a candle light, in a big dark room. You only see a little bit. So you think that this is as far as it goes, but it actually goes quite a ways sometimes, and you forget how far it goes. So know that about this, and keep reaching for those dark corners with that candle in your hand and light up those inner spaces for you. Reclaim back all of those spaces for your awareness. One more side to side.
And then come back to center. And again, hug your knees in. Use your hands to support the legs right in front of your belly. Inhale away, exhale in, and pulse, pulse. Again, so that our low back continues to settle, even as we're doing some easy movements here to keep blood and circulation flowing. This will be the last thing we do in this practice. So let's do this for a little while and settle the low back well after everything that we've done. Inhale away, exhale in, pulse, pulse, and relax, relax, relax. And then rest in constructive rest pose with our knees bent and together and feet apart on the floor. And chest open and arms open to keep combating the slouchiness. The head is level with the rest of the spine as is comfortable. Some deep breathing into the diaphragm for a minute or so. Keep our lungs healthy. And then roll over into your side, come up to seated for a moment. And don't rush up to get up so you don't get dizzy and lose your balance. Take a moment to collect yourself, to be truly alert. You may wish to get closer to a wall or a chair or your support person to get up. So you may wish to just take that little extra step to have a support structure to help you up so that you're safe when you come up. Namaste.